We are officially back in Korea, and this time Riot has given us an account that has the correct MMR. The thing is though, to try and save time, I started playing on the Korean server from Australia. Playing on 170 ping with players that can easily dodge my skill shot was just not the brightest idea that I've ever had, and it results in us starting the series with 3 wins and 11 losses. Now that you're caught up to speed, I figured I would show you what happened on arrival. I was hoping to start gaming as soon as I landed, but the monitor was indeed damaged. And no, it didn't happen during transit. It made it all the way to a different country, and someone, I'm not gonna name names, dropped one of these glass features on it while setting up, which meant there would be no gaming that night. So this leads into day number 1, where we go to everyone's first destination in Korea, which is Costco. They don't have the greatest selection of monitors, but they do have some, and it's convenient. These are the options. You've got a 24-inch with 100 Hertz, a 27-inch with only 75 Hertz, and then a 32-inch screen, which is slightly too big for me to carry back, so that's eliminated. The only choice was this 24-inch. At least it's cheap, so if we don't end up bringing it back, I'm not going to cry myself to sleep. Now, like I had previously mentioned, I don't want to have to take you through Emerald 3 all the way to Masters. You've seen it, or if you haven't, feel free to go back and watch it. So we're just going to completely power farm straight through these early levels. So we're now just jumping through plenty of surrendering, by the way. They love to give up early, and honestly, I am all for it because it makes this climb much quicker and keeps our sanity in check. Now that we have Bard in our lineup, it's also very easy to dodge some of the shitty matchups that I wouldn't want to pick Sion into, like Alistar, or in this example, Swain. So this allows us to climb just that much quicker. At the end of day 1, we had reached Diamond 4, and we're actually going to be starting today's video at Diamond 3. I hope you enjoy it, but first we've got a short 30-second segment for our sponsor, Professor GG. Once you've installed this app, it's very hard to play without it. Just straight quality of life improvements. It gives me pre-game information about team comps. It imports the best runes during Champion Select. There are plenty of other perks for you to also explore. As always, I'll never not promote this app without mentioning my favorite feature, which is map timers. If you're playing League of Legends without them, that is just criminal. I won't accept it. I love this app. I know you will too. It's completely free, so download it today. Use my link in the description and it helps out the channel. Everyone wins. Enjoy the video. And welcome back. We're in game number 1 of this series. We're playing Sion support up against the Varus and Raka. I like to run Glacial into this matchup because if you land a Q, you can force a fight. Raka has immense sustain, but she doesn't have much mobility, so that Glacial locks her up. We're trying anything to get a fight here, and we're willing to die to get it. We want to get their summoner spells and use our passive to trade back. Honestly, I thought this play was completely free, but then the enemy jungler shows up and he starts chasing MF around. I figured without a doubt she is dead, so I just went ahead and started purchasing. To my complete surprise, the MF manages to outrun the Rek'Sai, so we only hand over 1 kill for 2, plus we got all of their summoner spells. Now we should be in complete control of this lane. You might have noticed that the scoreline is heavily favoring the enemy, even though we had that massive play. It's because both the mid and top lane have handed over 2 kills each. So we are actively looking to make something happen in this bot lane while the jungle is on our side of the map. By the way, I'm super keen to see just how high we can climb in Korea. Last trip, we made it to Master 0 LP, but we just ran out of time. And if you enjoy this content, the easiest way to support it is to either download and use Professor, the sponsor of this video, or just leave a comment and like the video. So what we're watching now is a problem when you have 2 losing lanes. Both top and mid have fallen, which means the enemy team can just focus all their attention onto our bot lane because we're the only hope of winning, right? So we have both the mid lane, the jungle, everyone is hovering into our lane, and there's not much we can do about it. I know it looks like I'm just blindly face checking everything and consistently walking into the enemy team, and you might be right there. Keep in mind, we've just fast forwarded about 8-9 minutes into this game, and we're trying our best to hold on, but we're getting swamped with so much attention from every single lane. The saving grace is that our jungler finally starts coming online and getting kills on the other side of the map, which means we can start opening up and forcing these edges that we have in this bot lane. It's now 15 minutes and we just got a kill onto the enemy ADC, so we close out the lane and rotate to the middle of the map. We then see Varus is out of position. He's in the river and I know he has no flash, so I just blindly ult in, praying that it works out. This team fight was way more luck than skill. However, we do have a decent itemization setup for that exact scenario. Rather than going for support items, I'm just building pure tank. I want to be the center of focus. And right now, that is what we're doing. I'm straight up acting. I see my jungler is sitting there waiting. I pretend I am walking away. I know he is watching my footsteps. And then as soon as I get out of range, he walks straight into Viego. The trap has been set and he took the bait. This is how the next major team fight was immediately won, and this wasn't just for your random Drake, it's for the Mountain Drake. Imagine the Mountain Soul buff. Considering the itemization that we're going for, I will be completely unstoppable. Sadly, we never even got that opportunity. The enemy Varus was caught out of position in the mid lane, and our team members took advantage of that. They swooped in and picked him off. Now that it is 4v5, we can look to start this Baron, and if the enemy chooses to fight us, it's going to be in a 4v5 where we have a potential edge. So you're probably noticing that even though our team has a big lead, we have the Baron buff, we're still struggling to break through the enemy defenses. So what I tried to do is divide the enemy team. If I go to the bot lane and power these minions, it forces them to react to me. And let's not forget that I am a support. So by pulling the top laner, the fed top laner by the way, and the jungler to me and wasting my ultimate, ignore that, but we pulled two of the most important members from the enemy team towards us, and then our team just walks through and takes that tower. Once you've opened one portion of the base, it's a lot easier then to start taking other towers. Despite a valiant effort from the enemy team, we're able to use that Baron buff to slowly push our way through and just overwhelm them with minions. Without a doubt, there was an 80 gap in our favor, and then on the flip side, the enemy had the better top laner. It is what it is. They tried their best. We gained 24 LP and move on to the next one. So I'm always preaching about how strong Sion support is and that no one really seems to comprehend that. I don't see anyone taking advantage of it, but one of the strongest things about the Sion support is that it is a flex pick. Right here in this scenario, Gwen has just counter-picked Sion. She thinks I'm the top lane. She picks the Gwen. Darius gets a counter-pick, and now the game's over. You can see me showing you, I already know this game is over. They've lost the game because she has Ignite teleport into a Darius. There is no way she is surviving. I would bet a pretty penny that even after Darius locked in, she still thought I was in the top lane, because I don't see any reason why she wouldn't go a different summoner spell. Immediately, the Gwen is dead. It's exactly as I expected. Skipping ahead into the future, we had an exchange with the bot lane. We traded summoner spells. We have our jungler coming in the flank. We're assuming that he was going for the ADC who had no summoner spells, and instead of committing, he half-assed it. As far as I'm concerned, it ended up getting me killed. So rather than going back to what was already going to be somewhat of a difficult lane, it's now time that we put our focus on roaming around the map, especially applying pressure to this top top lane. This next clip is going to be a very valuable resource for anyone that's trying to play support and get their head around how to have an impact on the map. In this situation, instead of going to that bot lane where I'm going to struggle, I head to the top lane. The gank, it doesn't work. But that doesn't matter, because what it does, it applies pressure to the map, and now other people on the enemy team are reacting to what I'm doing, right? So Vex has now roamed to the top lane, and this baits them into a fight, one they definitely do not want. This gives over more gold to our top laner, so that gap there is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes, I die, but we get gold on the players that we want. And now on the opposite of the map, he sees us fighting in that top lane, so he tries to invade our red, which is warded. None of these plays here would be possible if we didn't roam to that top lane. And that is what most people just don't comprehend. A lot of the time, they will say that I am literally coping when I say that I'm carrying games this way, right? They see that everyone else is getting the gold. All I did is go top, I'm 0-2. No, we had so much more of an impact. Every single thing that has happened on your screen in the last minute is because we roamed to the top lane. If we stayed in the bot lane, we would just be getting bullied out, and we would actually need to pull our jungler to come and help us. And that literally means that we are being a burden rather than proactive. By the way, at this point, I still was having some issues with my setup. The mouse wasn't working the way I had wanted. I think there was something in the laser. So I'm not mechanically playing that good, but we're really just using the macro to gain elo in these situations, which really is just reminiscent of double jungle and everything we've learned while playing that playstyle. I'm skipping to the end of this game because I'm assuming you can already guess what's about to happen. Darius was so far ahead that he just ended up pushing straight through that top side, and the enemy team gives up. The scoreline is 23-4. They had absolutely no shot, so I do agree with that surrender. We gain 24 LP and move on to game number 3. In this one, we're not playing Sion support. We're actually playing Braum. We don't want to pick Sion into anyone that's super tanky, such as the Alistar, and our team comp allows Braum to proc his passive quite easily. Wukong top, Pantheon jungle. I tend to play super aggressive in the early levels of these matchups, mainly to try and get people summoner spells. The problem with this is recently they nerfed the Braum's armor. They took away a significant chunk of it. At level 1, he has 15 less armor. So going forward and the higher elo we get, I need to be very conscious about which fights I take, because I'm very used to just taking any fight and praying that it works out. Anyway, focusing back on this game, we've already taken the enemy bot lane summoner spell, so this dive here is going to be profitable no matter what we do, but I'm aiming to try and give no gold. We do this by tagging the enemy with our Q, which pulls the aggro, and then run to the very end of the tower and just wait there and pray that they don't realize they haven't hit you. They don't know who is getting the tower aggro because they're focusing on staying alive. That's 2 kills for our team and 0 for the enemy. Because I had executed under the tower, I have no longer synchronized with my ADC. When he went back, I was already in lane, so I'm trying to take advantage of that now by waiting in this brush, praying that he is going to forget to check it. Even though my original plan didn't work, I ended up baiting them because they saw me isolated. They went for a trade, and then our Pantheon had the ult. We pick up a kill there, and then I get way too greedy. I was under the impression that we would just all tower dive here. I would die. We would trade 1 for 1 because it's only a kill onto the Alistar. He does die though eventually, so technically my plan worked. This right here is exactly why I find playing on the Korean server to be so exciting. Every single player has the ability to make montage-worthy plays. Just watch and you'll see what I mean. All three members escaped that situation. The Kaiser, the Braum, and the Pantheon. You could just rely on every single person to hit their skill shot. The game, it didn't last much longer. This is the final team fight. Jinx was tilted out of her mind. And yes, this team fight is perfectly synced up with that beautiful number, 15 minutes. Every time, whenever a team is like hard losing, they intentionally take a team. I don't know if it's intentionally, but it feels like it. It feels like they intentionally take a fight to force the team members to forfeit. That's just my opinion. I don't know. We gain 24 more LP, and this leads into game number 4, where we have the opportunity to counter the Alistar's pick. I'm not going to be going Braum again, so we're going to be picking the Bard this time. It synergizes really well with our ADC's pick, which is a Sivir, so he can just stay down there and farm while I roam around the map and try create some pressure. So game 4 starts off with our Kha'Zix invading the enemy blue side. He was trying to put wards down because he's up against a Zyra. He does get himself into a pickle. He gets greedy for a kill and hands over the first blood. Fast forward 30 seconds. Jungle camps are about to spawn. Previously, I had dropped a ward onto the enemy Raptors, which revealed that Zyra wanted to start there. So our whole team starts invading the enemy red side. If you could stop Zyra's early levels, she becomes a minion that the Kha'Zix can feast on in the future. So that's what we're trying to do here, to set up our Kha'Zix for success. Even though he had a bad start, this can put him ahead. Something I noticed about the Korean server is that they're very good at punishing weakness, whether that's on you or another player. Once they see somebody bleeding gold, they're going to put all their resources into focusing on that player. And if you've been watching my content for a while, you will see that I play the same way. We did it last game with the Gwen. Once there is a weakness, you push on it until you have a lead that will eventually crack the enemy. And in a server such as Korea, where they forfeit almost every single time, that is going to be your best strategy. And in this game in particular, I was that weakness. All I wanted to do was get that damn vision orb. I have the biggest weakness when it comes to like clearing wards, or red wards in particular. I find myself constantly dying for that last hit. It is something I struggle to fix. You think it would be the easiest leak to fix, but for some reason you will always see me dying for those fucking red wards, or in this case, the vision orbs. It's important though to recognize when you're the weakest link on a team. So in this case, I'm trying to back up my stronger players, which are the ones that have the gold already. So this is my top and my jungle. We've already invested so much into the Kha'Zix. Even if I'm playing poorly, as long as I can set him up for success, that is going to be enough for me to gain LP, and that's what we're here for. Once again, it's 15 minutes and we're doing our final team fight. If you manage to kill them before this 15 minutes or around that time, it's almost guaranteed to be a surrender. In this game, I was literally waiting for them to bring it up. I saw the clock. I knew they were losing this team fight, so I was like, here it comes. It's coming. And of course, they went through with it. It is another game where they surrender. All these games were won within a small time frame, 3 wins in 1 hour, and we are once again just shooting up. We're now at Diamond 2, heading towards Master.
Y'all ain't on this level, bitches, Tilterella.